Good day, everyone. It is Meredith Leon McCormick for World Bride Magazine. We are back at it again. We are bringing in some of the most affluential people in the market, but this time, we're not just talking about just a designer. We're talking about people that can help you in the space where now that many of us are not familiar with NFTs. So today we brought Vivien Zhang from Solaire. Hi, Vivian. How are you?
Good, good. Hi, Meredith. So nice to be here.
Yay. So now the whole concept of NFT is pretty new to the market, to us general population, but I'm sure it's not new to you guys. But how do you educate us on NFTs and the process of it? What does it even mean? And why should we, as couples that are planning our weddings or wedding professionals, should be a part of this new activation that's going on?
Yeah, it's a very good question. So to answer that, I think I want to start with what is blockchain. Blockchain is basically a shared database. So think of cloud where you where you save your data, your pictures, your videos now. You can save that now on blockchain, which will permanently be there. So that's essentially what NFT is. It's a digital collectible that lives on blockchain. I think for the past few years, people have been sort of playing around with the idea of a digital art using NFT, where the value is potentially increases because it's one of a kind, it's permanent. But now the technology has become widely used in many different industries. And therefore, at Solaire, we are working on how do we leverage the blockchain technology or the non-fungible technology to create personal memories for couples. Which is why the way we use it, think of it like a digital album, where you have a digital certificate that certifies your story, your memory with your wedding day, with your wedding dress, a digital album that captures your love story, your precious moments with family and friends. So that's essentially what this technology can do for you and for the bridal and industry and for the brides out there. It is, how do you leverage technology to cherish memories and store them and be able to pass them on to friends, share them with friends, pass them on to your daughters. So that's essentially how we go about leveraging the technology for brides and for the bridal professionals.
Wow. So how does this impact now? How does it impact the designer and how does it impact the consumer? Who controls it? Can both of them? I don't know. I don't even know how to go about asking that particular question.
Absolutely. So why don't I show you an example
Yes.
from one of our clients who is a renowned Italian bridal designer, Barbara Montagnoli. And this is an example. So this is essentially what we called, from a Web3 term, a consumer wallet, but it's essentially a digital album where you keep all of your possessions or collectibles. So in our example, every single one of them is a non-fungible token NFT that represents a physical product. So let's go to see this particular wedding dress that is made for Paula. Imagine I'm Paula, this is my album. And I commissioned, or I worked with Barbara on designing this wedding dress for me. So this is my receipt or my digital album commemorating my journey with Barbara on co-creating this dress for my big wedding day. So here you've got pictures that was captured throughout the entire process, from fitting to details. This is me with a picture with the designer that worked on the dress with me, along with some detail shots. So here, this is probably the only non-familiar part for customers, is this certifies that this product or this memory is registered on blockchain permanently, that it would not be lost. And then this certifies your ownership, saying that I purchased it or co-created from Barbara on what day for how much. So in the US, where we like to, resell, gift these, or in Europe, where they like to pass this on to daughters, you have this permanent digital receipt that certifies your ownership. And then as a fashion consumer, I like to cut off tags only because it looks more flattering on me, whether it's a wedding dress or other things. But when it comes to caring for the product and knowing how it's made, I have no clue. So now this captures all of that information. So apologize, part of them is in Italian because Barbara is an Italian brand, but we made some content in English just to show the content. So here she uses technology to say, this is the one material that was used. It's a caddy crepe. It's a special type of silk, and why I chose to use this material, and how flattering that is to the design of the dress. And then here you have how the sleeve is using a different kind of silk, and where does that come from, and why did I use it, along with care instructions. That way it will always be there, be the place for you to go and find out everything about the dress. And then here, I know bridal or wedding gown is a sentimental collectible for anyone. So here Barbara provided sort of the context and the story of, when I first met Paula, how did I design this dress? Why did I feel like this is the style that would speak to her as a bride? And why, and how that will highlight her on her big wedding day. She captured the craftsmanship and how much thought and details that she put into making of the dress for her. And they went through 12 fittings. Every single one of fitting is a process to understand the bride, to get to know more about the dress, making sure that it's fit perfectly. So she captured all of that and make that part of my wedding and my bridal dress experience in memory. And then she even sent a personal message.
Barbara Montagnoli, stilista.
She even sent a personal message to to congratulate her on her big day, and sharing her experience, how much she enjoyed working with her, best wishes to the couple. And this is the beginning of a lifelong relationship. You go to Barbara for your wedding dress, and then there might be anniversary dresses, maybe your daughter's christening dress. So there are a lot of things that you can start building that relationship with your designer, to start sort of building that lifelong client customer relationship. So yeah, and then what's not shown here is that typically after the wedding, the couple will have a clip from their wedding where you can also upload on the blockchain, and to be a part of this bridal and wedding memory, and then so the couple will be able to do that directly themselves. So then you have this almost what we call a time capsule for your love story for your wedding day. And then the last bits and pieces is that this also becomes a communication channel for Barbara to be communicating with Paula on future relationship building. In this example, Barbara is sending her an invitation, say, I'm doing a show in New York. If you are around, come. Or if I'm doing a showing for our next year's season, come take a look. This is where you can start building that two-way relationship, having that sort of after sales communication and relationship building with your client.
So my question to you is, just so I won't forget, now she bought the dress. What is the starting cost for doing something like this? It's not free, is it?
No, it's not, but the cost is really minimal. So typically it starts with a designer. So in this example, Barbara wanted to work with us because she's capturing all of the content. She's sentimental for the customers, but there is no way to deliver that to the clients. So one thing that this technology also does is assuring authentication. So that way, every single dress that Barbara makes, it's one of a kind. She will be able to tag it with a microchip that we provide that is permanently linked to this NFT that we see here, that certifies that this is handmade by the one and only Barbara Montagnoli. And then as she delivered this to the customer, to Paula, she gets ownership in her wallet. Now this entire NFT that was prepared by Barbara goes into Paula. So now Paula has ownership, and she can add and create new memories, and becomes a communication channel. So the only cost that is there is to Barbara. So all she needs to do is to sign up to our platform, use our technology, then we give her access to customizing this one of a kind NFT for the customer. And then the platform fee plus a small transaction fee for every item that she sells. There's no cost to the customer. It's always free to use. and she can, she can transfer or resell the ownership of this dress along with the dress itself to the next owner, or pass it off to her daughter.
Right. That's what I wanted to ask you. My next question was, is this something that one can pass on as part of your heirloom, family heirloom, as part of your estate or your will or something like that? Is it recognized?
Recognizable, I would say, well, the technology is so new. I've been seeing more and more governments start to use blockchain technology for your IDs, for your driver's license, potentially for deeds and titles of your real estate. In the future, once it's legalized, I would say yes. But right now, this itself, it's almost like a receipt that is issued from the brand themselves. So
Okay.
it has sort of legal, I would say, sort of meaning to it, that this certifies your ownership. And as this item gets passed on, transferred to the next person, it gets transferred from one wallet to another wallet on blockchain. And then the owner history will show that on what date it was transferred from Paula to who else. And that becomes sort of a legal binding as well, to show that this is officially given to you. Same thing with will. We were actually talking to someone about this earlier, that we are going to work with law firms to allow customers to start assigning essentially things out of their wallet and say, this goes to whom whenever I decide to part ways with it. So you can definitely do that.
So now I know this is your company and this is what you do. This is a passion. Now, do you see this fading away? Is it a trend, or do you see this as the direction that the future is going to be presenting to everyone?
I think this is the direction. I think in terms of internet infrastructure, we are moving onto more and more businesses and sectors are moving onto blockchain, whether you know it or not. I was just talking to an event ticketing company. They've been around for a long time. And no one knows that every single ticket that they bought from that platform is actually an NFT. That gives them ownership of the product that they own, and also gives transparency and security of the money that you spend. So then your investment is protected. So this is not going away. It's going to be utilized in more and more industries. In our case, we're working with the fashion industry in high value luxury products. We are working with collectibles, memorabilia for sports and entertainment industry. We're working with ticketing companies to make sure that the ticket that you bought is not fake, that it's a one-of-a-kind NFT that only belongs to you.
Right.
So there's lots of things that are being utilized in different sectors. So this is definitely not a hype that is going to go away. I think anything that is digital, sort of that only has value in the digital realm, might have sort of a shelf life, but anything that is tied to a real world application is going to be there for a long time.
Okay. Well, thank you for putting that up. What I'd love to do is share with our readers your information and how we can literally learn more about what your company does, Solaire. How long has the company been around? First of all, let's do that.
We've been around for a year.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations. But what is your background so that people know that this is legit? This is not, yes, the company may be here for a year, but you've been, dabbling in this for a while.
Yeah, so I came from the luxury fashion industry. I've worked in luxury fashion at brands such as Tiffany & Co. and Harry Winston for 15 years in high jewelry. So I know the world of fashion and the world of bridal jewelry, or bridal itself, very, very well. And the idea, this business or this idea really came from my experience working in luxury fashion, is that I noticed that people are not buying jewelry because they need another necklace. They're buying it because they want the story behind it. They want the brand's story, they want the designer story, they want the inspiration,
Right.
They want the certification, they want the craftsmanship. That information is available, but from the brand, but that's only given to the salesperson to tell the story, to sell it. But customer needs to own it and they want to have it. And how do you deliver that? So I thought, if we can package that in a digital format and deliver that on blockchain to the customer, that way we know it's authentic, we know it's legit, customer has true ownership of it, which they can access anytime. And even better, they can upload their personal memory with the piece to co-create the value of this piece. So this is, and then this becomes, to your point, that you can trace, you can transfer, you can resell, you can gift. all of that things you can do it together, the entire story packet with the physical piece to the next person.
Right.
So yeah, so very much this is very, I've actually had this idea for 2 to 3 years now, but it wasn't until now, a year ago, that the technology is mature enough that we are now able to build that. And I would also like to mention that we spent a lot of time to make sure that the user experience is as easy as possible. We probably have the easiest Web3 experience on the internet today, where there's no key phrase, there's no, there's no private keys. Everything is email based, passwordless. You don't have to worry about paying gas fee. Everything is covered. So it's the easiest experience ever.
Fantastic. So before you go, can you please give our readers and viewers your website and how they can find you and ask you some questions?
Absolutely. So our website is mysolaire.xyz. You can find us also on Instagram. It's Solaire_official. Or on Twitter, it's Solaire_web3. And my name is Vivien. My email is vivienz@mysolaire.xyz. So you can email me anytime.
Fantastic. This was very informative. And of course, I'm going to keep up with it so that I can become a little bit more absorbed and knowledgeable about it, so that we can continue bringing this kind of information to our readers and viewers. So Vivien, thank you so much. I look forward to working with you and finding out some more information about just having this whole NFT process for our readers, Thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, Meredith. It was a pleasure talking to you as always.
Yay, see you soon. So
Thank
there
you.
you have it, ladies and gentlemen. You are in the know. Please stay tuned, because we are going to go further into becoming more aware of the process of NFTs and how you, our readers, can go into this space comfortably, knowing what you're getting involved. So until the next time, ciao.
Ciao.